a little bit about me, all about Hannah Taylor. I mean, you can read the blurb there, the typical blurb, but um, the backstory to this is August 20th, 2001. I started at First National, a mortgage company downtown. So just over 23 years ago now. Don't do the math, but I was just a few months past 19 years old, starting my first job downtown. Well, technically second job, but first real full-time job. Side note though, those of you remember that was 3 weeks before 9/11. What a horrible day that was. And downtown was a horribly scary place to be for a 19-year-old without her mom, for those that know my mom. Little did I know, though, that I had started on the path of what I was meant to be doing for the rest of my life. I'll spare the whole entire backstory today, but I did an interview with the wonderful Judith Tate at the Heart of Business with Rogers Durham on March 5th. It's on her website. So man, did she really get to the heart of why I'm at business. So check out her website, watch that episode, and contact her because she's always looking for people to interview. She's phenomenal. So First National was a very small company when I joined and was quickly promoted through the ranks to management. It was so cool. We had the free reign to work with the IT department to build what I didn't know at the time, that our customer journey for my department. So my department looked after residential and eventually commercial property taxes, the MPP, that's the mortgage life insurance, and then residential and eventually commercial home insurance, boiler insurance, earthquake insurance, and all that. So I didn't realize at the time that I was enhancing my customer journey, and I got free reign of these tech brains to do that. It was so cool. If I had an idea to make a process more efficient, to save time or money for the company, then I could run with it. I was allowed to do whatever I want. It was really neat. 23 years later, though, I'm still applying those principles to my business. Once you have that eye and you start looking for enhancements, it's like you can't stop. It's like, what else can I enhance this week? It's pretty exciting, actually. So I start here because it's so often I have a new call with a client. They're like, what is a mortgage agent? What does a mortgage agent do? So this is my business now. I started my business. It's easy to remember. It was March 2015 when my middle daughter turned 1. So 9 years now. So what do? We get paid by the lender for finding you the right product and placing the mortgage with them. We're free for 99% of clients, only private loans. That's a chat for another day. We have access to lots and lots of lenders, lots of programs and products, lots of different interest rates. But the neat thing is I'm a qualified expert. I've been licensed as a mortgage agent since 2008 for years, and I've been in the industry for 23 years. Whereas, no offense to our bank employees, they don't get licensed. They don't go through the same training. They're covered generically by the Bank Act. And so it's very different skill set they have. And the big difference is my why. My why is very different. I'm in the right thing for my talents to give back to the world. How I treat my clients is very different. You'll see a snapshot of what my process looks like. But the summary is each new client gets the sum of all my experience from past clients and benefits. That's what automating and writing down my customer journey does, is make sure I don't miss any educational point to my clients. There's no guessing games about what's going to happen next for my clients. I'm never leaving them high and dry. They never know what's going on next. They know. But I lay it all out. I help people with their mortgage. It's what I'm meant to do. And my clients feel that every step of the way. And here's like a snapshot of our lenders. You may have your mortgage with one of these lenders. And there's a lot more lenders than this. Something that I find pretty interesting is mortgage agents in the US, or loan officers is what they're called. They fund up to 60% of all mortgages in the US. In Canada, it's less than 40%. Everybody thinks a mortgage agent is for the wealthy. We provide that same white glove service. We're personalized expert service for free. So just like a TD Bank mobile mortgage advisor gets paid commission by TD Bank for closing your mortgage, I get paid commission by the lender we choose at the end. No cost out of your pocket. So people just don't know what we do, the expertise that we carry, and that our services are free to them. So there's a quick snapshot of that. And our ideal clients, pretty much anybody with a mortgage, but I love working with first-time home buyers. Love it. I don't know how many times a day you can call your banker and ask them questions, but you can call me 20 times a day. Investment financing. I love helping families grow their portfolio and use their equity to buy the next home. debt consolidation. This is a common theme coming out of the pandemic, out of illness and job loss and looking after elderly parents and young kids and everything in between. This is almost every call I have right now. Side note, last time I checked with a client, car payments, the interest for a car payment was close to like 7 to 9%. Well, mortgages are down to 5%. So I always say, if we're going to consolidate everything and you have your mortgage payment of 2,000 and your car payment of 500, keep paying that 500, but pay it at 5% rather than 7 or 9%. So we talk about all these things. And then of course, self-employed financing. That's what I am. That's my passion. That's what we all do. So those are the types of clients I work with. Okay, on to building our customer journey. There's so many facets to this that I've learned over the years. It's going to be absolutely impossible to cram everything into the 1 hour today. So it's going to seem like I'm rushing. I'm British and I speak really quickly, naturally. Anyways, I don't have the accent like Claudine, so I'm not as confusing. I'm just kidding. I love you, Claudine. But this is recorded and take lots of notes. And the good news is I'm actually going to do a more in-depth 3-part session for the rest of this year. I'm just finalizing dates. I should have that out in the next week. And I've got all you on that list to make sure you get those invites. So it's gonna be more participation, more going back and forth. The really neat thing I like about doing these sessions in depth is that you get to share ideas. So I don't know everything about the customer journey. You guys probably do something I don't do, and we get to like hive mindset and share that. Where this grew out of, this was really neat, but I did this course many years ago and for a customer journey, and then enhanced my process. And the coach that was running the course hired me to be their coach for about a year or two. So every quarter I had a cohort of 6 mortgage agents across Canada, and I did this training and was paid for it. It was really neat. So I've enhanced this process, and I'm willing to share it with all my business owner friends for free over the rest of this year. So 2025 can be great for us. So we're going to start at the beginning, and we're starting with Claudine. When I first met Claudine, I was doing the math, 2016. I was 1 year into business. I quit my 14-year corporate career at the mortgage company downtown, and I just celebrated my 1-year anniversary as a business owner. And I say celebrated because being a business owner is hard, and I had hit bottom. Bottom for me meant that I was failing in so many ways. I'm gonna cry. I'm a crier. I've got this issues here. It's all good. I was failing in so many ways. I could not see a way out. My son, who just started grade 9, was in senior kindergarten and after school care, and my 1-year-old daughter was in full-time daycare. Wait, didn't I quit my job for time freedom to see them more, to spend more time with them? We had sold our dream home and downsized. Wait, didn't I quit my job to be financially free? Wasn't this like the thing that business owners do? You just instantly make money. My first year of business, I made less than half of my corporate salary. Didn't I quit my job to earn more money? I feel like I had let the most important people in my life down. Cue the frenemies. We all have them. Let them serve a purpose at least. My lowest one day, I think at this point I had been crying for like 4 days straight. Those who know me know I like crying. I say I put on this earth so you can know it's okay to cry. But this 4 days was a lot for me. This frenemy hugged me and she said in the snarkiest voice, now I look back, "Oh, darling, you've hit bottom." Who says that? That is so nasty. Who says that? But something inside of me lit up. I'm glad she said those words because when I was in high school, my parents were in Amway, the good old days Amway, and we'd roam around, US and Canada listening to the coolest speakers. And I remember Les Brown, and his quote came to mind, and he said, "When you fall down, make sure you land on your back, because if you can look up, you can get up." So when she said you hit bottom, I was like, the only way is up, that's it. And so I wanted to share with you guys, if anybody's at bottom today, it's okay. You're on your back. You can look up and you're going to get up. Much like Mary Kay in her most recent video. That was so cool. I was bawling. Thanks, Mary Kay. So that month, that very same month, who was our speaker at Heart of Networking? Claudine freaking Pereira. Funny enough, Marlene and a bunch of people, we'd gone to see Tony Robbins speak, right, in Toronto. And I feel like Marlene had sat right beside Claudine. We didn't know Claudine back then. And a true Marlene form invited her out, and that she happened to be speaker that month. So I still can't believe the timing of that. networking. We meet so many business coaches. Claudine stood out amongst them all for me. So Claudine, the Wonder Woman that she is, spoke to my heart. She was British like me. I immigrated to Canada, lost my accent a long time ago. She left corporate just like me. She was Christian just like me. She was full of truth, sometimes hard truth, and just love. She wasn't in it so that she could get my email transfer payment every month. She was in it so I could win. It's very cool. Here's my business coach. So I booked my deep dive immediately. Then the rest was not so easy. I can't even say it was history. It was easy. It was not easy. As Claudine can attest, most times I just fight her every single step of the way. Irrational fears still get me down to this day. But without her by my side, I'm never letting you go, in my creepiest voice. I know we are unstoppable. So today I'm going to share bits and pieces of my story, lead you through the 8 years since I met Claudine and got my head on straight, and we'll laugh, we'll cry. I'm already crying. But most importantly, I hope you can relate, and I hope you leave here today with some really, really valuable information. So here's I don't think I'm even going to get to be 6. I'm going to say I'm going to really strive for 3.5. And not even in detail for those 3 in super detail, but this is what the 3 full sessions will look like in depth. So we're going to start with, why is the customer journey important? Freedom. I wish I could add 3 little kids. Well, 4. My partner has a kid and my partner and 3 cats to this picture, but there's me on a beach alone. That's cool too. I'll take that. So customer journey means freedom and business ownership. What a thought, right? Who would have thought we'd be free, not just working 24 hours a day? So what is a customer journey though? What is this phrase we keep hearing? It's the journey your client's going to follow when they do business with you. So right from when they aren't even the client and they contact you. Now, think about this for a second. Here's a nugget. How do clients contact you? How do you want to be contacted? I love email. I hate voicemails. I never return my voicemails. I finally changed my voicemail to, this will probably not be returned. Text me or email me. So I drive all communication to email. Selfishly, because my team checks that inbox. And so if I'm doing the billion school runs or off with a sick child or whatever, things are still getting replied to by my team. A personal voicemail on my cell phone isn't going to get very far if I'm taking a day for something. So what happens right when they come in the door? You create what this looks like. Your client doesn't. Think about that for a second. You create what your client's journey is going to look like. Yeah, for sure, they get to choose your own adventure, go to A, go to B, go to C. Remember those books when we were kids? But you get to choose what happens at every point in term. So I want you to write that down. What happens when a new client comes in the door, right through to when you convert them to a client for life? Because we're not just going to sell to them once. There's rarely anything on this earth we just buy once. So think through each step, write out what you want to happen at every single turn. And this, much like Marlene said, and I love that you said that, this will always be a work in progress. This document, spreadsheet, piece of paper, Word document, whatever, is a live document. It's always changing and being enhanced. You're never going to be done in a good way. So what happens when the phone rings? What happens when you get an email? What happens when you get a web form off your website? What do you want to happen next? When a client books an appointment with you, what do you want to happen next? Just a quick snapshot for me, and we don't get into this in depth in the text slide, but I have a Calendly website where people book appointments, whether it's a 10-minute call or a 30-minute call, Google Meet, phone call. Calendly is with the help of Zapier, one of my favorite tech programs, which I won't get into much today, takes that information and puts it into my CRM if they're not already there. If they are already there, it changes the status to discovery call booked. So Zapier links all these things to me. So there's a process that happens when a client books a call on my end. And then after the appointment, what do you do next? And then after that, what do you do? And it's just answering that question. It's like that, this is a horrible reference, but was it Dude, Where's My Car? When that drive-through speaker and the really fuzzy lady is going, and then, that's what I want you to think of when you're writing your customer journey. And then what happens? And then what happens? Because it's never like, I made the sale, I'm done with them, I'm never going to talk to them again. No, raise your hand if you've bought from a wonderful small business and you have never heard from them again. And I don't mean a Facebook post. I mean, they've got your email and your phone number and they're not reaching out to you. They're not reminding you monthly, weekly, daily. I have lenders every day at 8 a.m. I know I'm getting their rate sheet. your clients need a reminder to shop from you, a reminder that you're still in business, right? You get the picture. And then every step of the way, we want to see in our customer journey, right? Okay, this is me as a kid, the total nerd. Most people that know me know that I'm most comfortable at my desk in front of a spreadsheet, not talking to a group of people, but I love sharing. But I am a total nerd. This was the most resemblance I could find as me, although I think I had white hair as a kid. Anyways, so here's a snippet I'm going to show you of what mine looks like. Mine is now coded into Salesforce, my CRM, which I'll talk about later, everything. But I'm going to try and see if I can share my screen. Can you guys see a spreadsheet? Is that, yes? Can you see the Google
Yes.
sheet? Yeah,
Yes.
Perfect. So this is a pared down version strictly for this training because I actually have like 20 tabs on mine. Side note, years and years and years and years ago, Claudine, you had Mary Roy speak to us about marketing. Oh my God, she said the most genius thing to me in my systems and processes. She said that she writes down what she's doing every month for the year. And then the next year in November, she copies and pastes it and says, what am I going to do differently or start, stop, continue for this year? And it's done already. She does the same things every year. So I have people say, I always get a birthday card from you, or I always get a Bank of Canada rate announcement. Yeah, because it's ingrained in my process. This is what we do. So that's part of my customer journey is the post-sale marketing and pre-sale marketing. So for example, when a new lead comes in the door, I put it into my CRM, I coded a certain code, and these scripts start going out. Day 3, day 10, day 15, same scripts, day 25, and they're all driving them to book a call in my calendar, all different wording, but all driving them with my current email signature that has all my contact information. And then my system automatically says after 50 days of follow-up, I am a single mom of 3 kids. It's going to take you a couple of emails to get through to my brain. It's just how it goes, unfortunately. Somebody actually said the other day it was 3 emails or something. And I know technically with marketing, it used to be 7 touch points, but now with all our scrolling, it's something like 21. We have to see a business 21 times or something ludicrous to hear them. So after 50 days of follow-up, I get like a task that says, Hannah, is this one leaving? Is this client dead? It's to us. Is this, so then I get a personal follow-up. When they book a discovery call, I have like a parked discovery call booked, right? So they don't get any more emails. And then after I send them the mortgage application, they get another series of emails, again, coded differently. Oh, that's going to. Anyway, so same scripts, same information, same attachments, same education. So everybody's getting the same thing. So this is our lead before it's technically converted into a mortgage. The mortgage journey, it's a lot. So just close your eyes. It's a lot. I have coded out, what if this happens? What if this happens? What if this happens? What if it's a purchase? What if it's a refinance? What if it's with TD? What if it's with First National? Every lender has different nuances. I wanted everything documented so that I wasn't missing a beat to the clients explaining how that TD mortgage is different than an MCAP mortgage, et cetera, right? There are so many stages and so many scripts I have built in, not only scripts going out to the clients, but I'm lucky enough that when I close a mortgage that's a purchase, I've got what I call transaction partners. So think about this for a second. I've got the buyer's realtor, if I've never met them before. I've got the seller's realtor. I've got the lawyer. I've got the law clerk. I've got the appraiser. I can ask the client who their financial planner is. I have a whole section on my CRM for their transaction partners. I've got different emails going out to everybody on that team throughout the way. I have gotten business from the realtor that I've never even met before because he's like, hey, that was cool. And actually tomorrow I have a call with a realtor who I didn't know was referred to me by another client who he referred me a client who she just closed her mortgage last month and now he wants to buy his first home. Never met him. He's just seen the emails. Like he's just seen the process. It's very cool. So there's that, and there's like the forward facing emails going out to people. Then there's the internal tasks, which I'll talk about later on. And then there's all these nuances along the way. I check when I order an appraisal, I check a box and an email goes out to everybody saying appraisal's ordered. This is what's going to happen. I even send one to the seller's realtor. You're going to be called for an appraisal. This is what an appraisal is. It's fine. They're getting more information about an appraisal than they've ever gotten from another mortgage agent before. So that's my customer journey. As far as my, you think there's a customer journey forward facing to clients, knowledge of clients you have, and then there's your team. If you've grown a team, well, this is to my team how I want documents labeled. ID, income, you go into a file, you know exactly how things are labeled. Think of our own files. I remember I was covering for a mortgage agent eons ago, he was off on a cruise with no internet. And I went into a client's folder and everything was like scan 456, scan 789. I'm like, how do I know what is their driver's license and what is their job letter? So I came up with a file naming system for my own stuff. Anyways, back to, okay, so I want to go back to this and I want to say, what does your journey look like? I know you guys have been taking notes and I know you might already have some journeys. So who's brave enough to share, even like the first 3 or 5 steps? What does yours look like? Just feel free to unmute yourself and chat.
First step for me has always been networking. Networking, yeah. I use networking to grow, to meet people. I didn't know anybody when I first came to Durham, only Marlene. And networking, I grew my business just purely through networking and talking to people, and then offering a discovery session. That was pretty much it. And actually, to this day, that's the same process. Obviously, you have other things in the back end, keeping in touch, newsletters, and things like that. But
I was going to say, Claudine, we've got your brain on the microphone for a minute. When you leave a networking session, what do you do with that information?
So for me, it starts before I even go to networking. I have a bit of a strategy before I go anywhere. So I don't just walk in and just hope for the best and keep my fingers crossed. You know, I have a purpose. So for today, it's learning, right? I'm not here to solicit for business. I'm just learning. I'm taking notes. This is for me, for my personal education and growth. But there's other events that I'm going to go to that I might, you know, scope out the guest list to see who's going. You know, who do I want to meet there? What am I looking for at this time? Like right now in my business, I'm looking for more speaking engagements so I can promote my book. So that's going to be part of my strategy. So I don't just go out, spend money and just hope for the best. I have a strategy before I go out. So I kind of know what I'm looking for before I go in. And of course, to have a good time and, you know, talk to everybody. And I don't wait till I come home to make that next step. Because sometimes we come home and we sit down, we look at whoever we've spoken to, or, you know, back in the day, business cards, and we're like, oh my God, I'm freaking out because no one's going to want to hear from me now. So I kind of do it on the spot. Like if I know I've met somebody at Rising Spirit and I want to carry on that conversation, then I'm going to say, you know what, let's reach out. I'll text you. Let me get your number. You know, I'm a texter, better texter, and then we'll make that next step to meet. So I don't come home and have to, yeah, I might need to then close that loop, but I've already planted that seed in front of the person. So that's kind of like my little strategy. I always say have a strategy when you go out to network.
Love it. Love it. And that's even a good reminder for someone that's in networking years. So thanks, Claudine.
No problem.
Anybody else want to share their first few steps? Yeah, Mary Kay.
For me, it was finding a mentor and someone to, you know, be the person I can bounce ideas off of and stuff like that. And it was a woman by the name of Sue Hosang. She was a chocolatier in the area and she retired. So I started asking her all kinds of questions like in March. And she goes, what's going on? I said, I think we're going into the chocolate business. And she's like, oh my God. So she has been a godsend to us for many, many, many ideas. So for me, it was finding the mentor and then sitting down and doing the business plan with local community leaders was a big thing too, and setting us in a direction. And we're celebrating 5 years this year. And yeah, so I'm thinking of going and doing another business plan with the organization here in town and see what we can head to in the next 5 years.
Yep, very good. And that's a very interesting point. So I do business plan every fall. And actually the new brokerage I'm with checked in and did midway point. So in July, we all did a check-in on our business plan. It was really cool to do because obviously in the real estate market, like best laid plans and then the market goes sideways and rates go up and down. But yeah, very cool. It's always good to read your business plan. Very cool, Mary Kay. Anybody else want to share? We got time for one more.
I can share what I do with as far as prospective new members for Heart of Networking. Generally, as Claudine said, I generally do meet them at networking events or out in the community at different events. And then that's followed up by an invitation to their first event. and then immediately after the event, they get an email that says, when can we chat? I want to hear what your experience was like. And we set that up, and then it flows from there depending on what their circumstances are. It's
Yeah.
either, yes, let's start now, or, give me a couple of months or whatever. And it's all diarized. But I love that you have a system for every scenario. I don't do that. I follow the scenario and I diarize it, but it's not the same.
Yeah. But yeah, because that's what I say is they get to choose, the clients get to choose where they're going, but we kind of direct it, right? So,
Right.
And Marlene, I must say, so I've been chatting with one not new business owners lately, and I said, have you heard of Marlene Marco, Heart of Networking? And it was my new chiropractor here in Bowmanville. She goes, yeah, but not from the Heart of Networking, at another networking group. And I was laughing. I'm like, that's Marlene. And then of course, Elizabeth, who's new to the group that you did the after the first meeting she came to, she felt so looked after and loved. So you're just so wonderful. Thank you, Marlene.
Oh, thank you.
Very good. All right. So after we've got our customer journey written out, and I don't mean done, just like the first 5, 10, 15 steps, however many steps. I think my first practice document was 57 steps. That's my brain on a spreadsheet. And now it's way more. But now it's the real fun. There's fun in spreadsheets, I promise. What, as a business owner, as the CEO, I want you to love what you do. So what's your favorite part of that journey? You've written out all the steps. What steps do you want to do? And I found this while I was researching Zone of Genius. I thought this is so cool because what do you enjoy doing? What are you really good at? Really good at. Like, it's going to take someone years to get to where you are. And what does the world need from you? I always say this, so I'm so glad I found this, is I have a specific talent that I get to give back to the world every day. How many people can say they get to do that? I know everyone in this room, because we're super lucky. We've chosen what we're doing, but what does the world need from me? So that, where all those circles come together, is my part of the customer journey. That's it, my one small part. So I'm going to get raw with you here again. I did not love my business in 2020. Remember 2020? February 2020, I was blessed with my third child, Abby, who started JK this week. Crazy. And then, as you all know, March 2020, the world shut down. However, very quickly after that, the real estate market went nuts. So, like, where we thought everybody was just going to be twiddling our thumbs for the year, it went nuts. And then on top of that, parents in 2020, we were juggling. I had 2 school-age kids navigating online learning, the baby, my business, the house. Oh yeah, postpartum. I was 1 month postpartum. Funny story, Claudine and I were just chatting yesterday. She came for a visit. I think it was February, if not right at the beginning of March. Like, she got to hold that baby right before the world shut down. We still have that photo. It's super cute. But it was a very rough time. It was really dark. I hated my business. I had zero structure, 0 boundaries. It was complete chaos. For something that I love to do, it was complete chaos. I actually had dreams of quitting my business, just quitting, not even getting a job, just quitting everything, being a stay-at-home mom. I was not built to be a stay-at-home mom. Those ladies are tough, but kind and patient. That is not me. I am not patient or kind. I don't fit that bill. But like a ray of sunshine, when I mapped out my customer journey, I had a few goals in mind. Get my brain on paper. There's a lot rattling around in here, always. Some nights I don't sleep, it just goes. Enhance the mortgage process for the customer. So like I was saying, every client, realtor, lawyer, everybody along the way gets the same emails, the same information, guiding them through the process so that they receive the same checkpoints for education. I don't ever think, oh, shoot, I forgot to send Joe Smith the closing costs. Everybody gets the same information. It also became a training guide for my current and future team. It's easy to hand a new person my customer journey and go, here's where we are. This is your part. This is the whole thing. This is your part. But most importantly for me at that moment, I wanted to love my business again. I wanted to look forward to each day, not dread it. So I took my most favorite pieces from the customer journey and I claimed them as my own because I'm the CEO and I get to do whatever I want. And then I get to delegate everything else. For me, it's the discovery call. Oh, I love the discovery call. I love building rapport with the clients. I'm really good at that. I love answering all their mortgage questions. I've been doing this longer than I've been doing anything else. Painting the picture, building the dream. The steps before and after that, I've delegated to my team. My discovery calls are laser focused, 30 minutes or less now. Although you can't tell that from the outside. When I'm on the phone or on a Google Meet with a client, it seems like a natural conversation. How old are the kids now? What's your marital status? Where do you plan on living the next 3 to 5 years? What do you do for work? Do you know your credit score? All of these mean something on the application, or they lead to a conversation with some educational points, right? My goal is to not just close a mortgage for them today, but to help them with their goals down the road, to be with them forever, right? When I'm about to meet a client on Google Meet or call them for the first time, I have a process to follow. Of course I do. I'll show you a couple of things. My nerd is really showing here. So this is what my folder system looks like, and this is what my discovery call notes look like. So can you see this folder in Windows Explorer? Give me a thumbs up if you see that. Yeah. So this is all my live deals. So I've got 2 batches, who's in progress and who's funded. So the day they close, we move them to funded. When I'm hopping into a call, I copy this folder. This is everything I need for a new client. And it's not like, oh, I got to go in this folder and get this and this. I put it all in one folder, copy and paste. Let's make it easy. That takes me 2 minutes. Then my discovery call notes, this Google Doc looks like this. So are there questions, the same questions you're asking clients on that first call or the first email or the whatever? So I have this template, and I've made it easy in case somebody else is doing a discovery call in my absence, but this I know like the back of my hand now. So I get their name in here. I talk to them about their story. I have prompt questions. We do a lot of non-residents, for example. They're living in California, buying a rental here. I have to ask them how much their rent is in California, what's their marital status, all these things, income, credit. I go through all the social security number in the US. I have a silly story around ID. I know in COVID, none of us renewed our licenses. Have you renewed your license now? I go through these things. I prep everybody. So every section to me is almost like questions I ask, stories I tell, I relate to them, I'm building rapport. They probably don't even know what I'm doing behind the scenes, honestly. Right down to next steps is me explaining. My ultimate goal in my business, it sounds so silly, is I want my business to look like the Domino's pizza tracker. You know exactly when your pizza is being prepped, when it's in the oven, when it's out of the oven. I want the clients to know what's happening and what's next without having to ask. I don't want them feeling lost or out there by themselves. So next steps is more a prompt for me. Hey, Marlene, thanks for your call today. This is what's going to happen next. This is exactly what you can expect from me in the next 24 hours. Then when I get that back, it's going to be 48 hours. And I'm setting all those in the first call. So it's important to have that intake documented. If an intake doesn't go well, or if we seem disorganized or uninformed or uneducated about that topic or about a question for the client, I mean, it's 100% fine to say, I'll look into that, I'll get back to you, and then get back to them. But this sets the stage for if this client's going to trust us or not, especially in financial services. That trust is everything, right? Okay, let's hop back to our who knew. Okay, so do you have, let me go back to service call. Out of your, I know we haven't finished them yet, but out of your customer journey, and I know, okay, I'm going to start with the easier question. What's the one part you hate to do? The first part you delegate, what would it be? There's no way we all love every part of our business. There's no way. Or tell me something you love to do if you know there's one part you're going to take.
I would say I would get rid of social media. Like I would have somebody.
I hear you there, Charmaine. Yep.
Yeah.
Anybody else want to share?
Hannah, I would probably hire somebody to do my books for me.
Like bookkeeping, like
bookkeeping, I do
yep.
it, but I don't enjoy it. It drives me nuts. It takes me way too long.
Yeah. So it's so funny you say that, Diane, because man, my first couple of income tax years as a business owner, those weeks I was up till midnight sorting. I hated it. You know what I do now? I sync my corporate business banking with Wave. Wave is free, and that's how I do my payroll. I have a bookkeeper. I pay $50 a month to make sure everything's categorized. She pulls reports at the end of the year. I'm ready to file my taxes before the CRA is ready to receive them now. Like, it's such a dream now, but it took me years of staying up way too late to figure that system out. But yes, I hear you. I hate it too. I hate
Exactly, exactly. And I have to apologize for earlier. I'd been waiting for that phone call that I took for 3 days.
Oh, good. I'm glad it finally came in. All good.
Of
And I'm
course,
so
when
glad-
I'm busy, right?
Of course. And I'm so glad you're here.
Thank you.
Very good. And I know, well, okay, we've got a little bit more time. Does anybody else want to share what they love or what they hate? Just off the top of your head? What would you keep? What would you give away? Yeah, Keely.
I love talking with clients, whether that's through email or phone. Email is a little bit easier for me. I do hate voicemails as well, but what I hate and would, I don't know if we've chatted about this, but the website, oh my gosh. I tried to get someone to make it and they messed up a lot of it and it was terrible service. And now I'm left picking up the pieces, but just giving myself grace to go very slowly, call Wix, do little things when I can. It's still messed up. The desktop looks fine. The mobile looks horrendous. I think it's a page, but yeah.
Yeah, I hear you. Yeah, maybe that's something you hire out. But that website, it depends. I think they're lots of money. I don't know. It depends. That's why, a side note for my booking, and I don't know how this would go for services like you, Keely, but I have Calendly, and I think I still even have the free version. But I know it's important. I know, like, for me, when I want to go book things, I want to book online. And I know that's hard for me and 3 kids, but I'd like to book online as much as possible. So very cool. Okay, thanks for sharing. Okay, tech tips. I could spend a whole day here, but I've got 10 minutes, so I'll keep it quick. I'm gonna just try and talk about one as much as possible. So I love tech. I love automating things. Love it. I love things working in my sleep. And when I'm doing school pickups and drop-offs, think about the tech piece in your business like passive income. It's working all the time when you're not. And we all want to work a little bit less, right? So my one top tech tip is to get a CRM. What is a CRM? A customer relationship manager, some way of keeping track of your database or your clients. You could even start with a spreadsheet. Like, if you were just going to start something today, I would love for you to get your clients' names and email addresses in one place. Now, I laughed years and years ago at First National. There was and I tell this story so fondly. This man was a great influence on my life at First National. He was the National Director of Sales and Strategic Marketing. And his name for me was Seinfeld. I look nothing like Seinfeld, so that was hilarious. And Newman. He called me Newman. I called him Seinfeld. So we're in the hallway one day, and he goes, "Newman, do you know what I'm doing with these summer students?" He had like 5 summer students with him. And I said, "What are you doing, Seinfeld?" And he said, "Their job is to call all of our clients and get their email addresses." And I laughed, like, who communicates on email? That's how long ago this was. And he's like, "Every email is worth $200. And I still laugh now. As a mortgage agent, if I do multiple mortgages over the life of a client's life, that could be thousands of dollars. And probably same thing with you guys, if you can keep selling to people and keep track of them. So think about how much an email address costs in your business, how much income it could bring in, and you will never let go of an email address again, right? Or text if you have a texting platform, or phone calls. So as a basic, it's a way to track names and email addresses. That's like the basic. So if you have nothing, that's where I want you to start today. What's the best CRM though? Honestly, Salesforce. I say that because Disney uses Salesforce. I was actually doing their sales pitch for, what is it, the Disney Vacation Club, and I peered over the guy's shoulder. I'm like, Salesforce. He's like, "We love Salesforce here." But honestly, I use Salesforce, but it doesn't have to be the best. Seriously, the best CRM is the one you will use. It is as simple as that. Daily, all day long. You need to love it. Does not matter what I'm using, what the next girl over is using. You need to use it, and you need to love it. It needs to work for you. It doesn't need to be like, "Oh, it's Monday morning, I got to log into my CRM." That's not going to go so well for you. So you need to find something that you love to use. My CRM, as you can tell, is like, next level. It does so much for me. So when my team and I log into work each day, we have two places to check. Our team inbox, which I already spoke about. I was reluctant to go from a personal email address to team email address. I'm never looking back. It is the best thing ever. Team email address, and we have a task list in Salesforce. So my CRM not only tracks names and email addresses, birthdays. Birthday emails go out. If you're a client of ours, we mail you a birthday card. If you're not a client, we just got your birthday, but whether you're a client or not, you definitely get an email. And I change the email in the graphic every year. Mailing addresses, different mortgages. So if I've got one person with one mortgage or one person with 5 mortgages, I can easily click through the relationship tracker to see them all. And then the journey behind that mortgage. So once you're in the midst of that sale, depending how long that sale process is, I have tracked for every client. Has the lawyer got the instructions? Do we have the down payment? Everything drops in automatically when you change a status on my system, just to make sure we've got everything. We have that, like I said, that joint task list. But that task list not only tracks mortgage journeys, but the marketing journey. So that quick spreadsheet I showed you at the beginning. Oh yeah, it's October. We're going to start planning our holiday party. Oh yeah, it's January. I'm going to send this update. Like it's the same. Oh, we load in the Bank of Canada meetings. We load in everything in there. So we just come to one place and see it. My CEO tasks, the admin tasks, everything is in one place. We don't have to look to 500 places. We also send our newsletters from our CRM. I can't tell you, it seems so simple how many businesses don't send newsletters. So I've got all my clients in different buckets. I've got clients I actually have mortgages for. I've got clients, or the rest of the clients, leads that I haven't done a mortgage for yet. I've got my favorite realtors, no joke, the ones that treat clients like I do, the ones I really want business from. And then I've got all the other realtors. I've got lawyers and financial advisors. I've got all different buckets. And then I've got one bucket when I send like a Bank of Canada rate update to all of them. I send weekly emails. Weekly. So if you're still sending one a month or one a quarter, it may not be enough anymore. You think about how many emails we get a day. Anyways, right? Think about this though, the neat thing with tech and with a CRM specifically, it is like a full-time employee for me. It's working when I'm not working. It's reminding me what to do. It's sending emails. It's updating clients. It's doing all these things. My CRM now, this is going to sound like a lot, but it's $1,200 US per year. Now think of how much you pay a full-time employee. That's peanuts. That's $100 US a month. Peanuts. And it does so much work for me. It saves me so much time. It's worth every single penny. I can't work a day without looking at my CRM. Here's the other thing too. Again, busy single mom with 3 kids. I don't need to think and go, oh, where did I leave Claudine's mortgage today? Did I talk to the lawyer? Did I send that document to the lender? I literally come in and it says, you've done this. This is next. It tells me what to do. So if I'm sick or busy or running or just a normal day when I've got 500 things on my brain, it tells me what I need to do next. So we've got like 1 or 2 minutes to share. Does anyone want to share what program or what they use for their CRM? What do you guys use? Oh, I was going to say before Salesforce, I had MailChimp for my emails.
So I just started with HubSpot.
Yes.
I bought their program. I'm just learning it. I'm not tech, and I definitely need to I'll have to watch the video when it comes out, because this is a really key seminar for me, because you're a busy person and you've got it organized, and it's about the organization and the processes that I really want to learn. So the HubSpot I bought, I'm trying to learn I don't have an email distribution list. I have my clients, but I'm like, everything that you just described, oh yeah, did I do that? Oh yeah, did I do that? And my days all start planned, but every day there's a fire. So I need that process so that I can get back on to the tasks that need to get done, especially the business administration stuff. So I'm using HubSpot. I'm just learning it. I looked into Salesforce, but it was more than $1,200 US for me. And I don't know why. I don't have a whole I don't have a bunch of teams. So
no, that's an interesting point. So I bought, so there's a mortgage CRM company that took Salesforce and made it into so I think I'm paying for like part of their license.
Oh,
So there's
okay.
a bunch of us users all over
Got it.
Canada and the US. So yeah, makes sense. But Naomi, thanks for joining us. I saw you pop in there. Definitely go back and watch the recording. A key point I want to share is I did not get to everything today. I'm doing 3 more in-depth sessions for the rest of this year. So I'll send you guys that after. So thanks for sharing, Naomi. I've heard of HubSpot. That's a good one. And I wanted to just scoot back to that slide because you'll see how little we did today, building the customer journey. So I did not walk you through all of what I have. We kind of talked about what our favorite piece is. I did not go into detail about what I do with my favorite piece. Tech tips, I did one. I have a whole slideshow on the tech that I use and how it's automated and connected. And I never miss an email address. That's my underlying theme. Building a team and delegating the team, we didn't even get to. So something that was super neat when I worked at First National is it was me and one other lady in this tax department. When I left, I had 40 employees and 10 summer students. We grew that team to 50. So I had to go through so much training on how to build that team, how to groom that team, and then more importantly, how to delegate, because this was my baby. This was before I had my 3 babies, this was only I could do this. Does any of this sound familiar? I do this right. Nobody else could do this like me, all those things. So I had to learn how to delegate to the team. And I think to go way back, the first step to that is having the customer journey laid out and the training laid out. So that's what we'll go more in depth to for the next session. As you can tell, I didn't even change the footer. Look at that. My email address is up there. I love chatting business and processes and everything in between. I'm happy to always brainstorm with you. And selfishly, I love chatting with people about what they do because I always learn something. I mean, have you ever been to a training session where you're like, I'm going to take that piece and leave that piece? That's brainstorming too, right? So I reach out anytime you have questions.